Hello, it is just after 2 minutes after 6 at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, 7 p.m. in Chiba in Japan. I'm Monita Rajpal. You're watching World 1 live from London. Coming back down to Earth, the chapter in the history of exploration closes as the space shuttle touches down for the very last time. Atlantis landed safely at Kennedy Space Center in Florida just moments ago, ending a 30-year shuttle program that carried hundreds of astronauts into orbit. What will NASA do next? Khalid Al-Ali is executive director of the UC Office of NASA Partnerships, and we asked him for his thoughts and feelings on life after the shuttle.
Zero and liftoff for the final launch of Endeavour, expanding our knowledge while expanding our lives in space.
There is a certain
Well, CNN's John Zarella is at the Kennedy Space Center watching Atlantis make its final touchdown. He joins us now live. John, we heard there from Houston. Job well done, America.
Yep, Monita, the shuttle Atlantis about 8-9 minutes ago touching down here.
It is the end of the road for NASA's retiring space shuttles. Let's see where they are going to go next. Atlantis, as we just saw there, just back from its final mission to space, will stay in Florida at the Kennedy Space Center. It was delivered first back in April 1985 and took off for the first time in October of that year. Then we have Endeavour that has a new home at the California Science Center in Los Angeles. Endeavour was delivered to NASA in 1991 as the replacement for Challenger, which, as you remember, tragically exploded just after liftoff in 1986, killing all 7 astronauts on board. And the third retiring shuttle, Discovery. It will go to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum's Udvar Hazy Center in Northern Virginia. Discovery has completed 38 missions, more than any of the other vehicles. The president of Somalia is urgently calling on the international community for help as his country struggles to cope with its worst food crisis in 20 years. The U.S. says it is giving an extra $28 million in aid to add to the $400 million it's already handed out to Somalia this year. But aid agencies warn much more money is needed. Oxfam says there's a shortfall of $800 million. The situation is especially dire in southern Somalia, where large areas are controlled by the Islamist group Al-Shabaab. Washington says it is making things worse by preventing aid getting through to the people who desperately need it the most. We want to go to CNN's David McKenzie. He's in Dadaab refugee camp in Kenya, which has taken in thousands of people fleeing from Somalia. And Dadaab, David, is the world's largest refugee camp, and it is overflowing. And David, as you were saying, this is a situation that has become a chronic situation. It's a long time building up to this crisis point, catastrophic point. But the UN has defined it and classified it as a famine situation. What does that classification actually mean and do?
Well, that means it's a very specific set of statistics that mean a famine is named, and they haven't called the famine in this region for almost 20 years. Starting
to draw attention online. People are talking about ways to help, mostly using the Twitter hashtag Somalia and famine. We want to see what some of them are saying. We've got Hussein Dewan there in South Africa saying children are the most affected. Amazing that in this age of gross excesses, wealth and wastage, kids are still starving to death. Use the hashtag Somalia. That's a really good point. Now, Khalid M. in the United States says, pray for the people of Somalia, send aid, money, raise awareness. At the very least, keep them in your thoughts. And finally, Kevin Rudd in Australia, the former Prime Minister, I should add, saying, I am traveling to the Kenya and Somalia border at the invitation of the World Food Programme. The international community can't ignore this crisis. Now, there are ways that you can help. CNN has dedicated a web page for this, and you'll find it all at cnn.com/impact. One live from London. A verdict is in, ending an emotional murder trial near Tokyo. Tatsuya Ichihashi has been sentenced to life in prison for the rape and murder of a 22-year-old English teacher. Lindsay Hawker's body was found in a bathtub full of sand in Ichihashi's apartment in March 2007. Following the story, she joins us now from Chiba, where the trial was held. Kyung.
What we got today is that verdict and sentence, Monita. And what we saw inside the courtroom, at least according to the courtroom observers.
Kyung there in Chiba, Tokyo. Thank you so much. Chiba in Japan. Thank you. This is World One, live from London. All this week here on CNN, we are showcasing green pioneers, people who are tackling environmental challenges in innovative ways. Rima Maktabi caught up with the Najib Saab, a Lebanese publisher who is focusing on promoting environmental concerns in the Arab region.
Amid the turmoil in the Arab world, Najib Saab keeps his eye on the prize.
Rima Maktabi reporting there. Well, in Mexico, people are concerned about a future of a more immediate sort as Hurricane Dora grows stronger off the coast. Myra Ramos is at the World Weather Center with details on that. Mari.
Yeah, Dora became a Category 3 hurricane yesterday, and whenever you have a storm this large, even if after 30 years coming to an end. Monita, back to you.
Very exciting indeed, but as you said, I think that headline right there is the 100% humidity. Your hair and mine as well. Mari, thank you very much. You're watching World One live. Leaders in the Eurozone are racing against the clock to restore confidence in the bloc's economies. An emergency summit in Brussels is underway today, and there are two pressing issues to be resolved: the terms of a second bailout for Greece and a way to keep the crisis contained to prevent it from spilling over into larger EU economies like Spain or Italy. Now, there's been a hint of progress overnight. France and Germany have reached an agreement on how to deal with Greece. The details of the plan are a bit sketchy so far, but Nicolas Sarkozy and Angela Merkel will be presenting it at the summit. Jim Bolton joins us now live from Brussels with more on that. Jim, is there any more idea of what this plan might actually entail?
Well, it seems that it does not entail a tax on banks around Europe. That seems to be what has gone off the boil
here. We want
here.
to see what newspapers are saying about the debt crisis around the world. USA Today has the headline, Senate, House offer debt plans. Obama says time running out. The article says with the government set to run out of borrowed money in just 2 weeks, the prospects of breaking the debt impasse remain uncertain. Gulf News in the United Arab Emirates focuses on Europe with the headline, the Eurozone's last option. The opinion piece written by economist Nouriel Roubini says the Eurozone's current muddle-through approach is an unstable disequilibrium, kicking the can down the road and throwing good money after bad will not work. And finally, the headline of the International Herald Tribune has Europe at the brink. The op-ed says, had Europe faced up to the Greek problem a year and a half ago, the crisis would likely be more contained today. Europe will pay a huge price if Greece is allowed to go under. Europe's leaders need to make hard choices, and they need to make them now. As we've just heard, is also top of the political agenda in the United States. Despite a series of White House meetings on Wednesday, the stalemate over raising the nation's debt ceiling just seems to be dragging on. The U.S. government won't be able to pay its bills. Reports that the White House may agree to support a short-term increase in the U.S. borrowing limit if lawmakers secure a broader agreement to cut the deficit. CNN's Brianna Keeler is live at the White House. And Brianna, I guess with the gang of six, some are describing this proposal that they have somewhat come up with as kind of like they've agreed to disagree.
That's right. There's some mixed reaction coming from Congress, Monita, and from some pretty important players.
Yeah, such a muddle. All right, Brianna Keeler there in Washington. Thank you so much. The World Food Program says it is feeding 1.5 million people in Somalia, a country ravaged by war, drought, and now famine. Ferguson is the first Western broadcaster journalist to report from inside Somalia during this crisis. She joins us now. She's back from the capital, Mogadishu. She joins us now live from Abu Dhabi. Jane, thank you very much for being with us. What did you see?
Well, Monita, in Mogadishu, what we were seeing was tens of thousands of people actually coming into the city.
Jane Ferguson there in Abu Dhabi. Thank you so much. W1. Welcome back to W1, I should say. You got me all flustered with the top end news and sport. The world, as Tiger Woods knows it, continues to crumble. The American golfer is parting company with a longtime colleague and friend. Pedro Pinto is here with that story and much more. Is it just me that thinks that it's okay to, you know, change your caddy every once in a while? Is it change is not good? No?
When it comes to Tiger Woods, a lot has changed, and I think it's been too much change, considering especially that this particular caddy has been a longtime friend. and colleague, but I'll tell you all about that now. You know, life has really changed for Tiger Woods, and he's lost a lot in the last 18 months. His #1 ranking, his winning touch, his fitness, his wife. On Tuesday, he ended his relationship with long-serving caddy and friend Steve Williams. The 47-year-old Williams, who's from New Zealand, first carried Woods' bag in 1999 and helped the former world #1 to 72 titles overall, including 13 majors. But Tiger's game has been in decline since his private life unraveled, and he's since fallen to #20 in the world ranking. The tour since Bernard Hinault. So a lot of anticipation there in France. They haven't had a winner in a while.
They've had to deal with so many different types of weather conditions. They've had rain, now they've got the hot weather.
And they've got the Alps.
And the Alps, and of course, you know, being knocked out by a car, this, that, and the other. You know, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
it's a dangerous sport, cycling.
There's plenty of obstacles, and there's not that function when you're playing a game of saying, restart, game over, next life. Yeah, they don't get that over there.
That's your version of sporting, isn't it?
Yeah, but it should be an exciting finish.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, Pedro, thank you very much for that. You are watching World 1 live from London Command Center right there. Welcome back. This is World 1 live from London. We are coming up at almost 7 a.m. in New York, 1 p.m. in Berlin, and 8 p.m. in Tokyo. Well, for 3 decades, crowds have gathered at the Kennedy Space Center to witness an awesome spectacle, the space shuttle returning from orbit to touchdown on Earth. Less than an hour ago, almost exactly an hour ago, it happened for the very last time ever. Kay Heyer, a NASA mission specialist, was at the Kennedy Space Center as Atlantis made its final approach. She joins us now. Kay, thank you very much for being with us. As we saw the Atlantis make its final wheels down and touching down on Earth for the last time, what kind of memories does it bring back for you?
Oh, so many memories. 30 years of this program.
You are watching World 1 live from London. I'm Monita Rajpal. We thank you for joining us, but stick around. We'll update you on the news headlines at the top of the hour. This is CNN.